Do a little bit of research ahead of time just to understand how you're getting to this location, how are you safely making it back, because that is something that you want to make sure you have taken care of, or at least have the information for, so that you don't get stranded at night and have to be put in a situation that requires you to wander and feel unsafe. Welcome to the Travel Not to Escape podcast. I'm your host, Jolene on the Go, solo female traveler and creative entrepreneur. Think of me as your skydive instructor, empowering you to take the leap into solo travel to push past your fears and transform your life. Join me every Tuesday as we explore the world of solo travel with purpose and discover how you can use it for your personal transformation, learn how to make meaningful connections around the world, and reignite your spirit of play. We aren't just talking about traveling to find ourselves anymore. We're all about doing the work to understand who we authentically are, breaking through our limiting beliefs, and taking the leaps to manifest lives we are excited about. Through interviews, solo episodes, and meditations, each episode is packed with practical tips, strategies, and inspiring stories from guests who have transformed their lives through solo travel. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or just starting out on your journey, the Travel Not to Escape podcast is here to inspire and empower you to solo travel with purpose. Strap on your helmet. We're about to jump headfirst into the journey of a lifetime. Are you ready? Let's go. In today's episode, we are going to read a question from Facebook from a fellow solo female traveler. We'll read her question and some of the popular responses, and I haven't read any of the responses yet, so this is also going to be a blind reaction from me where I'll also give my take and response as well. So this is a community Q&A episode, and let's dive in. So the question is, for those that venture out in the evenings, what do you typically do? I'm not one to sit in a bar or club all night, but I don't want to sit alone in a hotel room either. Just looking for general ideas, not city specific, since I haven't yet decided where I'd like to travel. But will definitely be out of the United States, my home country. Thanks in advance for your ideas. I find this to be a very one common question that I feel like a lot of women ask, especially while they're solo traveling, and also one that I had to figure out myself as I was solo traveling. So let me take a look at some of the responses. I think this is going to be, there's 105 responses, and so there's going to be a lot for us to sift through, and then I will give my take as well. So the first one says, I like to go to popular areas where people go out at night and eat street food. There's usually street food for people leaving bars or clubs, and I love to try it and people watch. Another person said, I love this too. Yes. So if you are in a place that just has loads of street food, and off the top of my head, I can think of Mexico City. I can think of, I haven't been yet, but I know Thailand has a good night market. You can take a look at the night markets or popular late night dining options, perhaps do a little bit of research. There's a lot of blogs out there in regards to street food or night markets, and see what type of events, type of food options you can go to. Again, if you're doing something at night, I think let's preface all of these comments by saying, make sure you have reliable transportation. So I always do research ahead of time by also going on Facebook groups, by searching blogs, also asking on Instagram, other people, other travelers, to see how do people typically get around. Like, are they safe walking by themselves? And if I'm going to take advice from someone who has walked by themselves at night, I'm going to make sure it's a woman that identifies with a similar identity as me, because that is also important. So for me personally, I would ask other solo female travelers of Asian descent to see how they felt as they were walking around that city. And then I would ask also, what are the rideshare options? In Indonesia, I can use Grab or Gojek as apps. In Buenos Aires, I was able to use Cabify as well as Didi. And then in Mexico City, I believe they also had Didi as well as InDriver. There's going to be different rideshare applications. Oh, and Uber, depending on the city, is also available. So there's different rideshare options. Do a little bit of research ahead of time just to understand how you're getting to this location, how are you safely making it back, because that is something that you want to make sure you have taken care of, or at least have the information for, so that you don't get stranded at night and have to be put in a situation that requires you to wander and feel unsafe. So let's read another comment. I like to look for nice live music places, can be a bar, a theater, a restaurant, and if it's local, typical music of the destination I'm visiting, even better. You can learn a lot about the culture of a place through its food and music. Okay, I love this comment. This is something that I do as well. I love jazz music, and I love just taking myself out to a nice restaurant, or even if it's just a show, I'll do a nice restaurant and then I'll do the jazz show if they're separate, and get a cocktail, mocktail, or dessert at that show. And it's just a really lovely experience. You can invite people to come with you that you've met in your day tours, to go to the night activities that you've planned. But if you are still solo at nighttime, then yeah, live music is amazing, whether that be jazz or local bands. There's a lot of posts on Facebook groups as well. So if you search for the city, so let's say Bali, and I searched in the Facebook groups Bali, and then I would look for digital nomads Bali, I'd look for girls in Bali or people in Ubud. Like there's so many different groups depending on the city and the location, but type in the search field live music in all of those groups, and you'll probably find either live music WhatsApp group or a posting of an event or a restaurant that typically has it. Another way that I find live music is just on Google Maps. So what I'll do is I'll search live music on Google Maps on the app, and it'll pop up all the comments that people have put where they use the word live music. And so that's a good way for me to know if there is live music at that particular restaurant and what people thought about it. Another way that I've also found live music is through Meetup. Also is a good website to take a look at. So meetup.com. Sometimes you'll find like local events on there, or just a general Google search of live music in that city. And when I was in Buenos Aires, was that you can search for it in Spanish. So whatever the local language is, if you're able to search for it in that local language, you will pull up way more search results. And then you can use Google to translate that whole website for you. So that way it actually pulls a lot more results for you. But live music is one of my favorite go-tos, that you can take yourself out for food, music, and probably still be able to come home at a reasonable hour feeling good. Okay, let's look at a few more answers. This one says, I'm usually up at the crack of dawn to take pictures and things before everyone else is up, so I crash early. But I've seen a couple movies in different countries, and I think the theaters are so much nicer than in the States. You can usually find a movie in English, but it's also fun to watch one not in your native language. Okay, 100% agree. I think that would be a really cool experience if you love movies. And yeah, you can see what movie is out that you're already interested in seeing, or maybe it's a local movie. It could be a really unique experience. Again, you can take yourself out to a dinner and a movie. I also will say, like, this could be a type of theater or show. So it could be a play, it could be some type of musical. I think in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico, they had a theater that showed all different types, whether it was improv or live bands or open mics. They had different plays. You can also look for event venues, theater venues, and be able to go to those as well. That would be a really good suggestion. Let's see. Another response from this one. One of my faves is I plan pseudo shops. I have a nice snack and adult beverage or two. During this time, I people watch. When done, I window shop for a perfect outfit, head to toe, including shoes and bags. I take pictures along the way. I might ask shoe sales if they have the perfect shoe for said outfit, show them the pictures you have, shop for earrings and jewelry, and stop often for coffee or other snack. See, skip dinner and nosh on the go. The outfit might not be appropriate for me, but it is perfect for me in my mind. Be your bold, uninhibited self. I end up talking with people, snacking, shopping without spending, exploring fashion in another country, and sometimes I buy one perfect pair of earrings to remind me of my wonderful self-date in Madrid, Split, Nairobi, fill in the blank. I have many theme dates for self-exploring. I lived abroad last year for 10 months. You need to learn to be your own date, your own hero, your own friend. I leave back out in about 3 weeks. Okay, I love this woman. I think, oh, she even has pink hair. That's amazing. So I absolutely love this response. She's just so empowered. And I think it's a really cool way to spend your time because yeah, you're getting to know all the different shops. You're not having to buy a bunch of things, but if there's something that calls you, yeah, then it's something that would give you a memory in a future time because you pair the earrings with an outfit while you're in a different city, which is always fun. I actually love buying jewelry in different cities, and that's the one souvenir I tend to buy myself. And I also love here that she is taking photos along the way. She's chatting with people in the stores and getting recommendations from them and really creating her own main character moments. Like this feels like straight out of a movie. So, yes, I think that this could also be a fun way to spend. You'd probably want to start this around the afternoon, do an early evening type of night, but it sounds like a lot of fun and you get to see a lot of the city that you're in and chat with some people without necessarily having to. Sometimes you don't need to dive in deep as well in the connection. Sometimes it's enough to have a fun time, and if you want to focus more on a self date while still being social, this would be a really perfect option. um, okay, so before I dive into another comment, a couple of other things that I've done in other countries. So, for example, in Costa Rica, they have a night jungle tour where you can go actually in the middle of the rainforest in the nighttime, and that's when the majority of the nocturnal species of frogs and snakes and all those creepy animals are actually at. We saw really venomous spiders as well. And there's a lot of different, whether that's like releasing lanterns at night, whether that's the night rainforest or the night markets. Each destination I've found has some type of activity that they're known for at night. So definitely plan for at least one of your nights to be one of these unique night activities. And another thing that I recommend is if you have a hobby or want to take up a hobby such as dance, yoga, or art, or pottery, or there's so many different types of things that you could get into, but search for those classes and see if they're offered at night, and then that way you can combine having a bite to eat, meeting some people at the event, as well as trying something new. So that could be something that you can plan for yourself. So not only are there day activities, there's also night activities, plenty of night activities in all the different cities that you can plan for. Okay, this one. Okay, someone put, I go out and get hammered. Nothing wrong with that. I think just make sure, again, as I mentioned, that you get your transportation researched ahead of time, that you get the location in the neighborhood also researched ahead of time. You want to know where you're going to. Can you walk between places? Is there going to be a lot of people in that neighborhood? And I would research that by looking at the comments in the reviews for the restaurants nearby, because you can see like, oh, this was a great location. This was so walkable, or pop right in. It was so quaint, so cute. A lot of those reviews are probably going to be in areas where you can walk around, and it's a good location for you to do so. And if people aren't really commenting as much, you could always ask the restaurant in those areas to get some feedback. Say, like, reach out to them on WhatsApp and say, hey, thinking of booking dinner at your place. Is it generally a walkable area? I'm, a solo female traveler, and restaurants are usually pretty helpful. More responses. It depends on what location it is. Sometimes I'll walk outside if there's a lot of people and I don't feel isolated. I try to have a late dinner and then off to bed for an early start the next morning. So, as I mentioned, if you're going to do this, do a little bit of research on the area, the restaurants. I also love these types of activities, and I think I'll probably deep dive into this at a future episode where there's a lot of activities that don't necessarily require you to talk with anyone. Maybe you could be a silent observer on your laptop in a coffee shop or reading a book at a coffee shop. and you still get the ambiance around you. You still can people watch and still be amongst humans, but not necessarily having to exert social effort in order to make connections with people. And sometimes, as an introvert myself, I don't always feel like wanting to connect with people. And I love having alternative activities like walking around, and going to coffee shops or going to an art museum by myself in order to still get a sense of being social without necessarily depleting my battery. On that note, another activity I actually recommend is museums or art galleries. A lot of them, I've found, have later hours, or they have night events or some type of night or later hours. So, highly recommend researching some of the museums and also seeing if they have anything that's happening in the evening hours, because that could be a unique way to see the local art without having to be around a ton of people during the day. Oh, and I am going to close off with, actually, this is going to be my favorite tip. Um, And the tip is, most cities have a ghost tour that happens at night, and they are full of fun history, sunset cruises of near water, live music. Okay, I love this comment because I'm a huge fan of ghost tours. I have gone to ghost tours solo in most of the cities that I've been to that offer them. And it is such a fun time. You get to learn about the city, you get to learn about history, some you get to meet people, and just have like a generally unique experience. And they are guided tours, so you're not just wandering the streets by yourself if that's not something that you feel comfortable with. I love ghost tours. I think that's amazing. She also included in here sunset cruises. Also highly recommend if it's somewhere on a river, on some type of body of water. Sunset cruises are also fun. And if you do want to drink, I think that you can definitely look into whiskey tastings, wine tastings, different types of like alcohol tasting events and tours. I've met a lot of fun people that way, and also learned a lot about the history of that alcohol. So that's another way that you can do that without necessarily getting hammered and feeling unsafe in the process. So I hope that these responses in regards to what you can do at night were helpful. If there's anything else that you guys do while you're traveling and you do it at night and you have additional recommendations, definitely ping me on at Travel Not to Escape on the Instagram, or go on to Travel Not to Escape Community on Facebook, all of which I'll link in the show notes. And let me know what you think, what you do at night, and share that with the community. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Travel Not to Escape podcast. I hope you found our conversation inspiring and insightful. And if you're ready to take the next step in your journey of self-discovery through intentional travel, I invite you to join our vibrant and supportive community of solo female travelers over on Facebook. Inside our community, you'll find like-minded women from all walks of life sharing their stories, experiences, and tips on how to make travel a transformative part of your life. It's a safe space to ask questions, seek advice, and find inspiration. To become a part of this incredible community, simply search for Travel Not to Escape on Facebook groups, or you can click the link in the episode description. I can't wait to welcome you into our tribe of fearless travelers. Remember, your journey of self-discovery begins with that first step, so don't hesitate, join us today, and let's embark on this adventure together. Until next time, keep exploring, connecting, and playing, and safe travels, navigators.